Hey, it's Charlie Greenman. Today I'm excited to show you something called Razroo Executables. Let me say that one more time. Razroo Executables. And the reason I'm so excited, besides it being our latest feature, is that it allows you to do something really unique that you can't really do today. And what that allows you to do is to build these individual features using Razroo, like custom material design, and also creating your layout component and creating a home page and a footer and adding infrastructure, etc. And then being able to tie them all together into a single executable. So you can just click a button and generate them all at once. So I'd like to just walk through that process of sort of what it looks like, and I also like to discuss sort of what that means for the developers that are using Razroo with regards to efficiency. And I'll get into a couple of use cases where executables really shine. So first and foremost, I sort of just want to generate a workspace. I'm going to call this, let's just call this devgen executable. One, why not? Numero uno. And we're just going to go through the motions of just creating a starter repo, just to give an idea of what it would look like for the first time around. So being that we're creating a project for the first time, Razroo is going to create a Razroo project, and it's also going to create a GitHub repo. So I'm going to get notifications on my phone as that's happening, and it's sort of going to let me know if we're close. So I just got the first notification on my phone behind the scenes here that the Razroo project was created, and that means we're probably about 1 second away. There we go, perfect. And now we'll go ahead and we have now our Angular starter. So perfect. We've created our Angular starter that has a regular, Angular 16.2.0. Has here in the README of all the different stuff that we have. And now I'm going to go back to this Finder page, and I'm actually now going to click on the executable line. So this line on the left side here, it has this tooltip that says executable name, starter infrastructure. So yes, I do want to create the starter infrastructure for my project. And I'm going to click on generate code, and I'm going to choose devgen executable 1 that I just generated as my repo. And Razroo is letting me know of the various features that I'm creating right now. And as we can see here, we have 23 features that are being generated at the same time with the click of a button, which is quite a bit, especially when you consider that this is architecture, setting up projects, really difficult stuff. And I'm also going to be able to receive an email once execution is completed. So yes, this all looks fantastic. I'm a first-time user, let's imagine. And I'm curious. Let's click on execute, see what happens. And I'm curious what's going to happen. So now it's letting me know that it's executing and generating GitHub code, which is fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted. And this is behind the scenes going to be adding code. So one of the things I like doing for this is it's pretty fun because this branch gets automatically created and you get to sort of follow along. And if I go to the compare and pull request, you're able to sort of follow along and see every single time that the new feature is created, it's going to add that as a brand new commit over to this. So you can sort of, it's really fun actually to follow along and refresh and see it constantly create new features. It's going to send me an email once this is all complete. So you can actually see here, after a while, it's now just saying you will receive an email once completion is completed. You can close this whenever. So I'm just going to close this, and I'm going to keep refreshing. Why not? Just to keep us entertained. And as we can see here, it's doing a really good job of just generating all this awesome code that we have for our repo, like creating a home module, and just creating a new common styles library and creating our styling and all this stuff. So let's just keep refreshing here. And when I get my notification on my phone that it's been completed, then I know it's officially done. So it seems like we're sort of towards the end here. This seems like it's around 23 features that we have here, and I've just received a notification on my phone. So that means that we've just generated all this code. So look at this. I mean, look at how amazing that is. If I were to create this, of the various commits that we've just created and the massive amounts of files changed. We just did, these are individual features. We've just done 1,100 lines of code, and we've just created 23 individual features. And before I make this pull request, I mean, of course, this is pretty amazing that we just generated all these features at once with a click of a button. But now I kind of like to show off some of the benefits here, which is that you're actually able to click on these individual commits. And what Razroo does is it includes the URL of the feature that we just generated into the commit itself. So you can actually reverse, look at it as a user and actually see for each of the code that Razroo has generated in this code execution. I can actually say like, oh wow, this is actually what's going on here for the homepage component. This is the individual slice that went into generating this. So one benefit here is that even though we've generated like your classic boilerplate, and I'm going to go after these applications, but the classic, like your classic boilerplate applications, they just give you all the code and it's really not well organized and they don't have these individual commits. So +1 for Razroo with documentation. So let's go with that. We're going to add also the documentation, and we now have our repo, and if we wanted to use it, it would be just as simple as cloning this and beginning that repo. One other thing I like to show off is the ability to use this as a part of individual features. So Razroo has, and this is number 2, Razroo has a marketplace, and you can actually do something similar here. So we're going to actually set up an executable in real time just so people can see here. But what I'm going to do is I'm now going to go to my organization that was responsible for creating this, so I can go ahead and edit this marketplace book. But here I have a Auth0 Angular step that I want to allow people to generate Auth0 Angular. So what I'm actually going to do here is within the Razroo system, just bear with me, I'm going to create this Auth0 executable, and I'm going to call this setup auth, and we're now able to mark this as an executable. And now we can do the same thing here, which is that we can sort of just go here and now we can set up Auth0 Angular. So that's number 2 that Razroo has going for it, which is that you can actually just pile on the executables. You can keep creating these newer features as marketplace features, create them as executables, and just as a user I can just either in bite-sized I can install them one by one, or I can just automatically generate that to my component. So that's number 2. And the number 3 that I'm actually really excited about as well is we have this set up for one of our medium.com articles. What you can actually do is go to one of your blog articles, and we have this for our AWS Universal. You can actually go to your blog article and you can actually set up an executable as a button. So you can actually tell people like, hey, okay, you've read this article. Do you just want to generate this code? Awesome. So then, go to Razroo, click on the executable button. It will take you over to, this individual executable page. So we'll just go there and then you can just generate it. So it's a really great way for us, is also for like tutorials and blogs for people to just go ahead and execute their code. So I'm really excited. I'm going to be going around and telling people about this feature personally and letting them know like holy smokes, you can do this executable thing where you can add tons of code and tons of features, and it just makes your blog articles that much better for people where you can just start executing code. And I'm really looking forward to just sort of exploring a bit more of what it is that we can do. So here we go. So this would be the first video introducing it to the world, Razroo Executables. Enjoy. Excellent documentation. You have the ability to just constantly execute and integrate newer features with your application with ease, and then also for blog articles and the like, it's just really good. So until next time, Razroo Executables.